There's no way that you make it, and maybe you could fake it, but you're never gonna make it.
Mama Bear.
Aren't you just gonna take that? You can take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back?
Cooking up the country, helping business run. They haul everything safely and on time. They connect the factories built along the lines. We've got the goods to help give this economy a spark. Our trains, tracks, and bridges, oh, they'll get you pretty far. Norfolk Southern, what's your function? Cooking up the country, helping business run. Norfolk Southern, how's the function? Helping this big country move ahead as one. We're investing big to keep our country in the lead. We keep moving to deliver what you need. And that means jobs. Lots of people making lots and lots of things. Let's get your business rolling now. Everybody sing. Norfolk Southern, what's your function? Cooking up the country, helping business run. Norfolk Southern, how's the function? Helping this big country move ahead as one.
Alright guys, let's do let's say a daily update. I guess it ain't daily because I'm running a little behind here, but I'll start. I went to the council meeting. They were so excited I walked in there. I've never seen so many funny looks on people's faces, especially officials, but that's okay. You know, I'm making friends everywhere. That's all right. All right, I just jotted down a couple notes. It was pretty uneventful. Norfolk Southern representative was actually there. I mean, that's something they actually showed up for. They can't show up for anything else, but there was actually one there today. I was kind of surprised. This some of the stuff that, you know, dealt with the derailment. They talked about a lot of other stuff, but they opened a new community health clinic in town today, AT&T. And I guess it's not supposed to be just for train derailment issues. It's supposed to be for everything. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I'll have to go check it out tomorrow. Let's see here. New clinic. Oh, this one. They put a... this is even funnier. They put a community health... I wrote down community health mental survey. They put a survey online if you want to take from the Columbiana County mental health department, I guess. So if you want to take that, what's this thing telling me? Okay. They pressure washed the pole, so the pole pressure washed and disinfected the pole. And the funny thing is, as you drive through the park, it smells like Lysol. I mean, literally, it smells like Lysol. Like somebody spilt a whole crap load of Lysol. So I'm guess that's what disinfecting product they're using over everything. And I don't know, Lysol, it takes away contamination. I mean, you won't get the flu maybe, or the C word, but they just want to make sure to tell you that pole was pressure washed and disinfected, and you've seen on my other video they're putting new grass down, which if there's nothing wrong with old grass, why you put new grass? So we'll get to the Norfolk Southern rep, okay? he laid out basically what they plan on doing. He said about another 2 weeks for them to finish the north side. That's the side they're working on now. They have to lay the tracks, I guess, and they have to let the tracks settle, and so we don't have another derailment. And then after that, they're going to start on the south side. His timeline was anywhere 3 months, so probably mid-June at least. He's talking about, yeah, TNT, we're going to get to that. I was headed there, then I seen the council meeting. I forgot about it today, so I forgot I was stopping there just because people were just so joyful to see me in there. So he said about mid-June they're expecting to get done, but that all depends on the weather. He was complaining they're having problems with people taking the dirt. Of course, nobody wants this freaking contaminated crap in their town. He was complaining about that because they can't find nobody to take the dirt. We'll see in a little bit they can't keep the damn dirt on the truck anymore. So we have another hazmat situation, alongside the road, which is ridiculous. But EPA was there. It didn't get no waterways. They were slowly digging up a lot of dirt. I know exactly from the picture, the little clip I'm going to show that WKBN has. I know exactly where there's at. And this was right by a business. And business in a house. So I'm sure they're not too happy. The creek aeration, they're supposedly done with for now. They said that it has done its job. I don't see how it done its job. You guys can see from my other videos I posted, stuff just oozes out of the bottom. But they're going to keep they moved the ones from the park entrances because that's just not a good look. Well, that's okay, TNT. That's fine. I know you're busy. Everybody's busy. I don't expect you to keep up with everything, but I do appreciate you bringing that up because if I didn't know about it, I would look it up. So they're going to they took the ones out of the front park entrances you've seen. They laid down the straw, and everything. They're going to keep there's ones down by the sewage treatment plant. They're keeping, and then there is some in the middle of the town where the stream runs through the center of town. They still have them set up too. The reason why they're not pulling them out, and this seemed very funny. They're keeping them there for the simple fact if they have. This is exactly what the train rep said. If they have an oh crap moment to where one of their big million gallon blue tanks that they put up, if one of them started leaking or they had a leak, they think turning on this aeration is going to, I guess, keep this stuff from going downstream. I don't know what the thinking is with that, but they think it does wonders. As for this was even fun. I laughed when he said this. I know they seen me laughing because I laughed and shook my head. Okay, they're going to start working on the bottom of the stream. Okay, all the toxins that are stuck in the bottom of the stream. They're going to basically walk through the stream. Well, he said walk. I don't know if that's the real thing, but that's what he said. He said they're going to walk through the stream. They're going to disturb the sediment to get all the chemicals back up, from the sediment to the surface and let it flow down. Now, yeah, this is actually from this is well, some of this is drone footage from East Palestine. All of it is, but some of it's on the ground too. Yeah, this is what's shown right now. This would be the next morning after it. So We're going to get. I have another video I'm going to do about this because I'm gonna blow their whole vinyl chloride is the only thing they blew up thing out of the water. I've went through and labeled all the tankers myself. I've looked at so many pictures, so many drone footages. Read the numbers I could on the cars. Some of the cars you couldn't read the numbers on, so they might have been kind of a guess. But I just kind of used of how the train would pile up if it was derailing. So I'm going to make a separate video on that because I'm finally almost finished with that. And it took me forever to label all them. You know how many times I changed the card, the name of the cars, what was on it and stuff, just because I found another picture I could read. But anyways, get back to the creek. They're going to walk through the creek. They're going to disturb the sediment on the bottom to get this these chemicals from the bottom up. I guess they're just going to let them flow downstream. I didn't hear no plan to capture them or something. They do have them booms set up, but them booms really don't do crap. They'll get the stuff floating on the water somewhat, but a lot of the stuff is suspended about halfway down in the water, and it's not going to catch it. And as they take this stuff and they mess with it and they try to get it to the surface, they're going to be releasing all that. Yeah, I love Squirrel Tribe, man. I would hire her as a private investigator. She is really good at what she does. So they're going to go through the stream, basically mess the bottom up, okay? Which I don't see the problem in that because it's all soaked in the sides. You can easily see. So as they mess this up, they're going to be releasing all this gas, that's stuck down there. Because when I was down there the other day, filming, and Rick was down there, the Bunny Man. If you guys seen the video, he was the Bunny Man. Dude's cool as hell. He's very smart, and he knows what he's standing for. So I'm glad he's on our side. He's a great person. I've known him for a while. I didn't recognize him at first in the bunny costume, but after I seen him, then as they do that, it's soaked into the side of the creeks. Okay, you can see in the video of his side because I was on the other side talking to residents, but I put the clip in of his side of what he was seeing. And you just disturb that side of that creek a little bit, and the chemicals coming out and the smell. That was one of the only times. I can't say my headache was caused by that because it is allergy season and I have allergies. So, but I did come home with a freaking pounding headache, and it was in the front and it was like in the back of my head. I don't know. I could smell it from where I was standing because I said I could smell it all the way up here. So I can't blame that on that because it is allergy season for me. So, but I've never had a really bad headache like that because I came home and it was like, holy cow, my head was killing me. So it may have been from that. It may not have been. So that's inconclusive. Yeah, lawsuits are, we have another school that sued too, which is good. I think everybody should, sue them. So that's what they plan on doing to clean up the creek. As soon as he said that, I laughed and shook my head because that is the freaking stupidest thing I've ever heard. But, if you're the EPA's letting Norfolk Southern, dictate what they're going to do, and then just the EPA, pretty much signs off on it. There ain't very much they changed from what originally the Norfolk Southern wanted to do. EPA really didn't change much. So you're letting somebody that caused the accident. Yeah, Steve, when I came home, I did take a Benadryl. So like I said, I can't say it was from that. It could have been allergies because the pollen count was medium to high that day. So, I can't say because I've never really had problems and I've been around this stuff, almost every day. And Heck, I walked into the stuff the next day it happened. So I can't, confirm or deny, but, I did have a wicked headache. So instead of them doing, I would say doing it right, it seems like they're just going to walk through, they're going to disturb all this sediment, all this stuff is going to float to the top and go downstream. As it floats to the top, it's going to let the gas out, the same thing the aeration was doing. I think that's why they stopped the aeration, is because too many people was complaining about the smell. They say they're putting oxygen in the water, and there's no gas coming out of the aeration things, but that has been proved different otherwise from independent testers, so thank God for them. And we have more and more testers getting on board. So I love that. But other than that, that was the gist of the meeting. They thanked everybody for the Easter egg hunt. I can't tell you what to do. If you want everything to be okay and you want to take your kid to the park, that's fine. But, I'm more trusting of science and, what the independent testers is starting to release. And we now have, what did Andrew Welton? I think over 20 universities now that are coming out to start doing independent testing. A lot of them is going to go to do farm testing to test to see if it's safe to even plant crops, and to test the grass to see if it's, the cow eats the grass. If the grass is, contaminated, the meat's going to be contaminated, and they're going to have to see if they can sell the meat, So we do have multiple universities coming in now. It's great. And, it kind of throws the EPA numbers under the bus, most of the time. I will give it credit, I don't have it pulled up. But when Andrew, Welton released his preliminary, his first strip data, because he's from a university. All his stuff is volunteer. It's his. Yeah, they'd love to come test. I bet you they'd find stuff out there. So all his people that do his tests is volunteer. It's all volunteer basis. So people was getting on him, why wasn't he harder on the EPA? You got to understand, he works at a school, he represents the school. He's not like me, where I can just say whatever I want. He represents the school, so he's got to go out and be political with what he says. But a lot of his tests were, some numbers he did find higher than the EPA, and some numbers, were lower than the EPA. He said that could have been, the EPA found a hot spot and he didn't find a hot spot, or he found a hot spot and the EPA didn't find a hot spot. So, he was very, it's not like all his numbers were high just to show the EPA was wrong. There were some lower numbers. So, it was reasonable. So, but we do got more. He's supposed to be releasing more. Because when he comes down, he takes hundreds of samples, and he said it takes him a long time to go through, test all these samples. So, I'm glad we got more coming on, and I think, the EPA is kind of, I think they're trying to get this done as fast as they can, because they want to basically hide this, shove this under the rug, and hopefully something else, drastic happens. Sort of seems like, the other day when I'll tell the story. I won't give the EPA people's names, but the other day when I was filming, there was this SUV sitting there, and they were watching when I was filming, and I'm used to it. They don't like me filming. I always have people watching me, so it's no big deal. But I moved, and then they moved their car to face towards me like they were watching me some more. So, whatever. I filmed them, and I was like, this is what happens when you film down here. They don't want you filming. They, basically either watch you or try to intimidate you. So I shut my camera off, and I figured, what the hell? I'm gonna walk up and ask them, why are you watching me? Well, I mean, they were two really nice young ladies, and I felt really bad after I walked up to them, and because they were like, oh no, we're not watching you. She had a newer EPA rep in there, and she was trying to explain to her the whole overview of what's happening. I felt really bad because when I walked up to him, and I was like, okay, why are you watching me for? And but I did apologize. They were very nice young ladies. We did, kind of talk like, off the record. I won't really say anything they say, just for the simple fact if, their company tracks it down to whoever talked to me. But they are, whether they believe what they're saying or they're just told just to say certain stuff. I asked about the, do they think the creek is cleaned up? No, I can say this because, this, and their answer was, well, the creek has a, its own cycle to clean itself, so it'll eventually be clean. Okay, if you say so, I'm not arguing with you. Many a times she told me that I should go visit the EPA office in town because they have, some experts there that maybe would answer my questions. And my, thing was that, well, good, I have a lot of questions, I hope I get answers. So I might have to head down there one time. I won't film, but, I will audio record with my phone in my pocket, because I would really like to ask some questions to see what kind of answers I get. And she's like, well, if they don't know the answer to your question, they'll write it down and get back to you. Yeah, like that's going to happen. But other than that, they were really nice young ladies, and I felt really bad blaming them. But, as many times as I've been followed and, try to be intimidated for, filming, it was just a instinct. So, I'm sorry, ladies, if you watch this. I apologize to you. I'm sorry. I just felt so bad when I did that because, they were honestly two really nice ladies, just basically doing their job. So, anyways, that was the story. That's the story behind that. That was when I was leaving yesterday. I said, I won't put you on YouTube. I won't. She's like, oh, thank you. I said, yeah, because you guys weren't, filming me, because I filmed them and it was like, this is what happens when you film. You got people try to intimidate you. So, thank you, ladies. I'm sorry. It was my bad, but it's just the history of, what happens. All right, let's get to some news. We can't even keep the trucks on the road now, carrying the toxic soil from the derailment site. I was on my way headed to this, and then I passed the council meeting. I was like, oh man, I gotta stop in there and see what was going on. So, I guess, a lot of this, they were digging out the culvert. This is what I get from people that was there. They were digging out the culverts. I guess it struck a telephone pole and then rolled over. They have recently updated it that the driver was citing for operating the vehicle without reasonable control. So basically, he was going too fast. They're saying he was going too fast for speed, which it is a very bendy and hilly road. But and maybe it's the first time driving that. I don't know. It was carrying, 40,000 pounds of it. They're saying only 20,000 pounds spilled on the roadway and berm. EPA was called. They said there was no threat to nearby waterways. We've heard that freaking 50 times. So it should be done cleaning up by now. I might take a drive-by just to see how much soil they took out. But I find that kind of funny because we can't find anybody to take the soil, and now we can't even keep the damn soil on the road. So we have another like toxic place, alongside the road. But don't forget about it. What else we want to get to? This is the EPA now. They're supposedly doing tests, which I wouldn't trust them, but for the farmers to see if it's okay to grow stuff on their land and sell to people and stuff. we do, like I said, we do got independent testers now coming out to do this. So I think they'll rely on more of the independent testers than they will the EPA. So that's really nice to know that, you know, we'll find out if, you know, it's going to be safe to eat the crops or eat the meat. I'm saying they're going to find something. When was this posted? April 10th? Oh, DeWine was out here today, too. He was in town today, too, this morning. I was at work. I missed it. They're pushing to, you know, extend this radius. I think they should, but I don't think they will. What else I just want to get into the video? The money trail. I was actually surprised WHTM channel 27, their ABC channel, actually did a thing, you know, tracing the money to the local politicians. You know, they said follow the money, which I've been saying for a long time. But the funny thing is, now, ever since the derailment, DeWine has donated the amount he received in contributions to help those affected in East Palestine, according to his press secretary. See, I don't know why they're donating all this money to the schools. You know, I'm all for, you know, giving money to schools, but let's see, he donated $11,000 to the school. Okay, that's what he received from Norfolk Southern during his last campaign. He donated another $10,000 to the school, which is the amount his inaugural committee received from Norfolk Southern. And in addition to this, his inaugural committee donated another $15,000 to help East Palestine, unrelated to any contributions from Norfolk Southern. Senator Rowley, he made a donation. He received $500 from Norfolk Southern. He doubled that to $1,000, and he donated that to the Second Harvest Food Bank. I think that's it. That's the only ones that donated. Yeah, that's the only ones that actually donated their stuff back. But it seems kind of funny when the you know, this came out. All of a sudden they're donating. They donated this money back. I don't know if they did or not. So surprising. We get the another school. Western Beaver is suing Norfolk Southern. This was posted, but this is not, you know, date stamped or anything by the clerk of courts, so I don't know, you know, I don't know if this was just a pre-thing before they sent it to the clerk of courts. I'm not sure, but they're joining Blackhawk School District, also suing Norfolk Southern. We'll get into the park stuff here real quick, too. This is the thing they put out saying the park was safe to use for the Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April 8th. See, I think it's funny is, you know, they do tests, and we're still waiting. Well, they may not be releasing the results, but we're still waiting for tests that they've done like months ago. But they were able to get this test back within, you know, a week and a half, which seems kind of funny, but whatever. Let's see here. They said they confirmed the park soil is within safe limits. They cleaned the swimming pool, tennis court, playground. I went over all that. Put the new mulch down. The playground was power washed and disinfected. Get your Lysol out. 90 tons of new playground mulch and new sod. So that's what they released. Where is okay? This is the chemical analysis of what they did. Okay. I guess they took 2 samples for each location. I have a problem where they took the location of the samples because their reasoning was they took the sample locations to where it was more likely for kids to come in contact with. But once I show you just locations, you'll kind of think that's kind of odd. They took 2. They took one, 0.1 foot below the ground surface, so basically, you know, just right on the ground, and the other one was about a half a foot down. They did 14 samples. Where's the map at? All right, you look at this map. Each one of these triangles is where they took samples from. Okay, I agree with this one. This is a ball field up here. Okay, this is just an empty field. I really don't see it used much. Same thing with this. This is a hillside. I don't see that used much. There's nothing there. We have a row of pavilions that run down here. There was nothing taken up there. We have a dog park up here. There was nothing taken up here. A baseball field here. I think we have volleyball net there, so they took one by that. There was nothing taken by the playground, and then took one in the middle of the field. They took one down by this lake. This lake just ends in the woods. I don't know why they took one down there. And then we have a baseball field down here, which, I agree with that too. Taking that. But I think they could have picked, better locations for samples, like near the playground. And, we have a ball field here. We have a ball field here, but, I'm not, that's why they don't have me in charge. So if we, okay, these are the results they released, which if you look it over, everything looks good. Okay. Now I'm going to point something out to you. Okay. Where is that? Okay. Now, anything that has a J, U, or an other, beside the thing means the results is outside the ability of the laboratory instrument to measure it with accuracy and precision. Okay. So you're telling me, you look through all this. I mean, look at all these J's. And there's J's, there's BCNs, there's U's. So you're telling me the EPA does not have the great equipment to test this stuff? I find that hard to believe because, if a college has the right equipment, and, I'm sure I know the EPA is more well funded than the college. Why was their equipment not able to test for, or they say not to rely on these numbers because they may not be accurate, which I think is just another way to get out of, stuff being in the soil. I just don't see how they don't have the equipment to do it. So, if you look through this, I mean, you see so many J's, BCNs, they're everywhere. Same thing with the furans. There's a lot of them. There's some J's and the dioxins, and then all these chemicals. And they only tested for chemicals, okay? They didn't do a broad test. They only tested for chemicals that was on the train and chemicals that they thought might have been produced by the burn. So, I mean, this might not even be all the chemicals in the ground. They just narrowed it down to a short list of what they thought might be in there, and what was on the train, which, I don't see, there's stuff in here I don't see that, they didn't test for, and, maybe they did test for it and it was a bad number and they didn't put it on here. So, so I don't believe them. I'll stick with my independent experts, and, if they say it's okay, I'll go with them. I just don't trust the EPA. It's not so much the people working in town, because I have talked with the 2 EPA reps from town, and they are very nice people. And I think they have, good intentions, but unfortunately the agency as a whole is so corrupt that, whatever they, want to happen really doesn't matter. It's up to the agency what they release. So, but they are really nice people. It's a guy and a girl. The guy was also part of the Flint, Michigan fiasco they had up there too. So they seem to send him to a lot of like high profile, chemical spill messes and stuff, which I, find kind of odd. It's always the same person, but that's who they send. But they are nice people. I don't want everybody to think that I'm, purposely putting, the people on the ground, saying stuff about them. I'm talking about the agency as a whole, not, the individual people doing their job, because, these people might really enjoy doing their job and they really want stuff to be good. But, they can always put out what the agency tells them to put out. Not like they can just go, have to do their own test. So that's why I didn't agree with the park test. The egg hunt was on the mayor's desk, and he wasn't going to sign it until the tests were done. So I think that's why this was done so quick. I was still surprised he signed it. But he did sign it. They did have it. It was a decent turnout. I don't want to put down people that want to, maybe just get on with their life and forget about this. That's fine. That's your right. I don't want to call you out for that. But you also got to take into comparison the people that are having symptoms and problems and can't go back to their home. And, now that the CDC had 7 people get sick, and they were just going door to door to, take surveys of people. The workers, you can say, okay, they were sick because they were down by the work site, okay? Well, we have CDC that was just going door to door, and they got sick. And CDC pulled their group out on the 7th, I think. So it kind of gives more, gives more to the people that are actually having symptoms, because CDC pretty much had the same symptoms that the people in town are having. So where it goes from here, I don't know. What else did I want to get into this? Some of them I'll cover up into. I'll get into this. I'll cover this in another one too. This is the agency they had come up from Texas, okay? This is the ones that I guess it's Norfolk's go to, just like the CETH company, the air monitoring company. They do train derailments and highly toxic events. So this is a company that came from Texas. I was really interested. I find this kind of interesting because they have experience with compressed gas management, including responses to incidents involving LPG, ammonia, chlorine, vinyl chloride, and sulfur dioxide. So this is basically what they do when they hot tap. They drill holes into the side of the tanker, and they put, pipes in there with valves that they can shut off, and then they'll empty the tanker that way. That is basically a hot tap. It's come out more who was in incident command now. I'll do a separate video on that, and the chief is just going to love me for this video, because it kind of doesn't make him look very good. Which I really wish he would come out and speak out about it, because, the silence is what makes me think that there's more to it now, because he pretty much disappeared. Tonight was the first night I've seen him for weeks. He don't even show up to the town meetings anymore. So the silence is what usually when you're silent, usually you're guilty of something, or you have something to hide. So I'll get into that to another video. So this is the company. I reached out to them and asked them when they were dispatched to go to this. Haven't heard anything back. I don't expect to hear anything back, but I figured I'd reach out and ask, because the information coming out of who was in the incident command is it supposedly was the people that own the chemical, and the Norfolk Southern's experts. It was the fire chief was the main guy. Who else did you have in there? EPA was in there, which I find kind of funny, because I'm just going to hit this real quick, and then, what are we up to? 40 minutes, yeah. I'm going to hit this real quick. I'll do this as a separate video too, because I want to cover this a little bit more in depth. Okay. The EPA said, okay, this comes from the EPA's mouth at the one meeting, that they were told on Sunday night that they were going to release one car, okay? The National Guard... Oh, I'm frozen. That's the first time my camera ever froze. That is odd. That's a brand new camera too. Alright, well, whatever. We'll deal with this. We'll deal with it later. The EPA left that night saying one car was going to be detonated the next day. Our National Guard Civil Defense or something, some fancy name, did a air model just for the one car. Okay. Now, I guess when they came back in Monday morning, all of a sudden, Norfolk Southern was going to detonate 5 cars, okay? But they only had the air model done for the one car. So the air model you see being passed around a lot is just for one car. That's not for 5. We still have yet to see one for 5 cars, which I'm sure is drastically bigger than just the one car was pretty big. I find it kind of funny because the EPA is like, well, we had no say so in them doing the 5 cars. Now, I think it's funny that you walk in, they say we're going to do 5 cars, and the EPA, there's no, okay, well, what could come of this? We have to do a model of what's going to happen. No, they said they didn't have no decision in that. That was the railroad's decision to detonate the 5 cars. So that's what they went ahead and did. I find it very hard that the EPA has no say-so in, what went on like that. I just find it very odd. The other thing I find very odd, which kind of ties into my one video I did about where I think these cars originated from, is I've searched, and Governor DeWine said that he notified the Department of Defense about, he's been talking with the Department of Defense about this derailment. This is one before they exploded it. I'm gonna call it what it is. I've looked it up, and I cannot find not one train derailment involving chemicals leaking where the Department of Defense is involved. It's always the NTSB, and it's the EPA. Then your state agencies. Now, the reason why that I find it funny that the Department of Defense was involved, because in my one video, I believe them tanker cars came from a spill site where it's a Superfund site where the EPA is now cleaning it up, and they have all these chemicals stored in containers. These chemicals were used to clean uranium rods for nuclear factories. So they have these all stored in tanks, and I think I can't prove this, but it's a pretty good line, is why they're hiding all this. That these tanks originated from that. They were headed, the tanks were headed to New Jersey. And at New Jersey, there is the old military base where they used to do all the experiments with the LSD, and you've seen all them experiments that they did in the past. So the only reason I can think why the DOD would have been involved is if this stuff on that train pretty much was, owned by the DOD, being transported for the DOD to go to get, I don't know what they planned on doing with it at that old base. And what was it, Andrews? I can't remember the base now. I know not Andrews. I can't remember it. That's all my one video. It's like 20 minutes long, but you know, that's the only reason why, because I've never heard of the DoD getting involved in a chemical spill unless they had something on that train that was something of theirs, you know. So I don't know. I searched and searched and searched, and I cannot find anything that where the DoD was involved in a train derailment. So, you know, that's just something to dig into, I guess. Which I slowly will. I think that's it. I think I'm gonna end that there. I'm trying to think. I'll finish putting that card video together. With the cards labeled, and I'll get that out there. And then there is a incident command video I want to go over. Do also. Because there is new, there's a new thing that, you know, the East Palestine chief is silent when then EPA claims he ordered the controlled burn. Now, like I said before, if I was being blamed for the controlled burn, I would be out there putting a statement out and saying, hey, that wasn't me. But that hasn't happened. So that's what makes me think. And he also just did a commercial for Norfolk Southern. Which is very odd too. So, you know, to each your own. All right, guys, I'm gonna end that. We'll be on 46 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna end it. I don't even know what's happening. Later on this week, Wednesday, Thursday, they're having. I don't even have it pulled up. I'll have to post it. They are having a It's in the New Galley community building. I think it's called We Were There or something. It's a like a documentary film of what happened in East Palestine. I don't know who it was put together by or, you know, anything like that. I want to go cover that. I'll live stream it if, you know, signal's good. If not, I definitely will record it, post it. It might be kind of interesting. So that's happening this week. Other than that, there's really nothing right now on the books of happening. But, you know, stuff could pop up. I'll be out and about tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice, so I'll be out tomorrow getting some more footage of stuff. Other than that, I think that's it for tonight, guys. I will catch you guys later.